Thanks for tuning in to the San Mateo Public Library. My name is Chelsea. I'm one of the children's librarians here, and I'm the person who buys all of our graphic novels, so I'm here again for my staff pick Saturday to talk about graphic novels for our youngest readers. So we have a big graphic novel collection. There's tons of great titles here, but it can be a little overwhelming when you're an early reader, when you're still reading our early reader books, when you've just transitioned into chapter books. It can be hard to find titles that are age and reading level appropriate, so I thought I'd give you some options that I like and that come from our collection. So let's get started. First, I want to give a shout out to some of the classics. So these are going to be things like Garfield, who doesn't love our Monday-hating, lasagna-loving cat? Or something like Calvin and Hobbes, another imaginative classic. Or even things like the Smurfs, which they're now releasing in these great little bundled editions where you get 3 Smurfs comics in one. A lot of people grew up reading these in newspapers, and now we have an option to share them with our kids as these nice bundled collections. We have a whole bunch of them. They're nice because they're short. They tend to be, 4 panels or so, and so you get the story across quickly, and they're always very funny too. That's why they used to call them the funny pages, right? So Calvin and Hobbes, Garfield, things like that, those classic newspaper comics you grew up reading, consider sharing those with your youngest readers. All right, next up is a modern day classic, which is Babymouse. So Babymouse is by Jennifer and Matthew Holm, a brother-sister duo, and it features our main heroine, Babymouse, as she goes through all kinds of different adventures. Sometimes, as you can see here, she's a superhero. Sometimes she's a dragon slayer. And sometimes she's just a relatable elementary school kid who faces relatable elementary school problems. She has problems with her friends. She has problems with her teachers. She gets worries about sleepovers, things like that that are really great for kids to be able to see their problems reflected in this cute mouse's story. So I really love Babymouse, and there are a whole bunch of them. You can see them behind me, all of these pink books up here. So I highly recommend Babymouse. And then, by the same author duo of Jennifer and Matthew Holm, we have Squish. So this one is a little more science tinged because it is featuring an amoeba as our main character. It's very similar story-wise to Babymouse in that, he faces different challenges, sometimes more fantastical and imaginative, sometimes more grounded depending on the volume. But it's featuring an amoeba and various other similar microscopic characters. So this is a great one for our little budding scientists out there. And let's take a look inside. So you can see it's all green. There's not too many words on the page. So this is a reason why it's really great for our early chapter readers, or even those who are transitioning from early readers to chapter books. Squish. So these two are classics, modern classics. All right, so let's get into something a little bit different. I want to talk about an author specifically this time, who's Art Baltazar. He's written all of these right here, but the 2 series that I would like to highlight are the Teeny Titans. So this is a retelling of the Teen Titans series. It goes through a whole bunch of different DC characters, but written in a cute, accessible way for younger readers. So these are perfect for, you grown-up fans of DC. This is a great way to get your kids into those comics in a way that's appropriate for their age. But he doesn't just do those kinds of heroes. He also writes his own original ones like Gillbert the Merman. So I really like Gillbert because it has a lot of the same superhero saving the world kind of themes that the Teeny Titans do. But in Gillbert, we get to do that in an underwater, beautiful world. Like, oh my gosh, look at all of these cool underwater superheroes. So again, this one's got a little bit of a science aspect to it. If you've got any budding marine biologists, this is a really good title. Gillbert is a merman, so he's fantastical, but he has lots of different fish and underwater animal friends. So I really like Gillbert. It's got, he has relatable problems in addition to kind of his superhero stuff. So Gillbert by Art Baltazar. So you can look up his titles. He's got a whole bunch. They're all fantastic. After that, we're gonna go into Baloney and Friends. So this title is brand new. It's by Greg Pizzoli, who also does picture books. So you may be familiar with his name. He's done a couple of really wonderful picture books that I know we love to read here in Storytime. And this one is really good, especially for our youngest, just transitioning readers, because as you'll see inside, it looks very similar to things like Elephant and Piggy, or it's maybe 1 to 2 steps up from there. So it's fairly simple, it's easily laid out, and it's also about a cute pig and his animal friends, and the problems that friends run into every day. So again, with the relatable content for our elementary school audience. They experience those problems that are going to be relatable to anybody, and it even has instructions in the back on how to draw all of the characters. So this is a great one for our budding artists out there as well. Okay, after that we've got another new title, which is Bug Boys by Laura Netzger. So Bug Boys is another science adjacent story in that our bug boys here meet all kinds of different bugs and insects and talk about what it is like to be a bug or insect out in the forest. So they love to explore. This one's a very outdoorsy, exploratory, adventure-based story that's based on the friendship of these 2 bugs here. They meet new bugs friends, they face their fears, and they test and improve their friendship along the way. So this is a really good one for our little outdoor adventurers out there, and anyone who loves bugs. But also, if you don't like bugs, they're pretty cute bugs, so I don't think you need to worry too much about that, because they are adorable little bug boys. So Bug Boys by Laura Netzger. Okay. After that, we've got another fun animal series called Peter and Ernesto. So this is the most recent volume in this series, Sloths at Night. But there are, I believe, 3 here, and it's by Graham Annable. And this is another really good early one. As you can see from inside, of course I picked an entirely black page. It's very simple. There's not a ton of words on each page. It's very nicely laid out, so this is a really good one for our earliest readers. It's a lot, again, about friendship. The 2 sloths are kind of an opposites attract sort of friendship. One's a little more outgoing and adventurous, while the other one's a little more nervous and shy, but they find that, there's a reason these 2 opposite friends attracted each other, and they have cool adventures in the jungle, and who doesn't love sloths, right? They're so much fun. So that's Peter and Ernesto by Graham Annable. Okay, so after that, we're gonna talk about TV show tie-in graphic novels. So this is a pretty big part of our collection. If you saw my previous video, I talked about the Pokemon graphic novels, but a lot of American comics, or a lot of American cartoons will often have spin-off comics as well. So if there's a particular show that your child likes, see if we have a graphic novel edition of it. One of the benefits of doing it this way is that if they already have an interest in something like, say, My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, while this will be, the words might be a little bit difficult, one of the reasons graphic novels are so great for early readers is that it'll have more difficult words on the page, but because they have the context of the images, they're able to understand more difficult words and parse out the meaning in a different way. So it actually is a really great transition, and if you're working from early readers into chapter books or early chapter books into our thicker middle grade chapter books, finding tie-in comics like this are really great because they're written they're a little bit harder, but not too hard, and since you have the high interest titles, you get more interest and more willingness to work through those more difficult words. So we've got My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. There's a ton of these. These are really fun. We also have one of my favorites, the DC Superhero Girls. You guys see I got my DC Superhero Girls on my shirt. There's a bunch of these. These are a really fun series. We also have classics like SpongeBob SquarePants. Who doesn't love our friend who lives in a pineapple under the sea? We have things like Lego Ninjago. I know these are very popular in our early chapter books, so why not check out the graphic novels? And then we even have things like Disney. So Disney puts out a whole bunch of tie-in comics. Sometimes they're a retelling of the movie, sometimes they're original stories. So for example, this one is an original story about Lightning McQueen. So if you've got a big Lightning McQueen fan at home, maybe check out the Cars graphic novel. Alright, so that is the end of my presentation about our young readers graphic novels. There are a ton more, of course, and if you'd ever like to get some recommendations, feel free to reach out to me. I love talking about graphic novels, and hopefully you can tell, for any age range. So you got little ones, middle ones, tweens. I'd be happy to come up with some graphic novel titles for any of them. So thank you again for tuning in. Please check out our website and our social media pages for more of these videos, and I hope you find some graphic novels that you enjoy. Thanks, bye!